quick explanation of what getting on the one means. And by the way, if this is your first time checking out the Gig Geezer, if you're a returning visitor of the Gig Geezer, thanks for coming by. And if you would not mind, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. William Bootsy Collins, former bassist for James Brown's JB's, lead musician in his band, also collaborator with George Clinton from the Mothership Connection and Parliament and P-Funk, and then later going on his own with Bootsy's Rubber Band. William Bootsy Collins spoke of in an interview years ago on Unsung about how James Brown implored him to get on the one. Getting on the one meant for him hitting that chord that gets everything in sync. Getting on the one means, getting on the one to James Brown means when you are on that right beat, get that right sound. But getting on the one as it relates to spinner/cargo van ownership, at least how I'm gonna put it, is when you earn $1,000 or more in a single day. And that's what this segment is all about. Now, when did I earn $1,000 or more? I earned $1,000 or more on Tuesday, September 5th, 2023. Today is September 7th, 2023. It's a Thursday. The total amount I earned that day is $1,394 and change. Of that amount, $1,250 came on a brokered opportunity that I booked on Friday, September 1st, 2023, going to Anderson, South Carolina. The initial brokered amount was $250. How did it then pay $1,250? I'll explain. Now, if you recall this segment of the Gig Geezer, I made reference to the cargo that was in my van. All this area was filled with cargo, in which there were 3 pallets and then a half pallet, which I had to break down and put the remaining contents on top of the pallet. Now, at the pickup location in Somerville, I waited over 3 hours before I was loaded. And what I mean by that, in the sense that the warehouse had to track down the originating people for their payment before the cargo could be released. And then I indicated to the broker that I was loaded and had departed en route to the Anderson, South Carolina location. My last correspondence with the broker who booked this opportunity was that, okay, so there's no way possible you can make it to Anderson by 5 o'clock. I left Somerville at 4 o'clock. So when I called him back, he's nowhere to be found. The next person in the email chain line, or the person that's above him in priority or ranking, she's nowhere to be found. And so I'm left with, I happen to, my regularly assigned broker, the person whom I should have been able to book this load through, but was unable earlier Friday morning. She happens to call me back, and I explained the situation to her, and I asked her if she can hang on with me. I'm going to try to contact the people in Anderson and find out if I might be able to deliver the load later than 5 o'clock. They told me that no, they're closing at 5 o'clock, and that you would have to come by on Tuesday morning. And so I indicated to my regularly assigned broker that I would be there first thing in the morning on Tuesday. And then she sent notification to everyone else in the email chain and explaining the situation about the detention and the layover situation. Now, the reason for all this communication was that I've learned in the transport business that if you don't let them know what's going on right when it's happening in real time, they will not pay you if you come to them after the fact. So there was multiple levels of communication already in place, so that they could not try to say that they don't know, because none of them were available. None of the main people who were needed to have been apprised were available. So all I was left with was emails to send. So now we move ahead to Tuesday. The order is delivered. I get in contact with the broker finally about what's going on. He tells me that you should get a revised rate confirmation sheet, which I would need to submit to my factoring company. In fact, this is the factoring company that I deal with. If you're interested in being paid sooner than later on your brokered opportunities, these people are the folk I deal with. The link is also in the description section and in the comment section. So now he tells me 11 o'clock I should get a updated rate confirmation sheet. 11 o'clock passes, 1 o'clock passes, 3 o'clock passes. He's a hard person to catch up with. He finally text messages me about 4:30 Tuesday afternoon saying that they're still working on it and that they're working to get approval. That I still hadn't seen a rate confirmation sheet. Yesterday morning, Wednesday, September 6, 2023, same type of inactivity and lack of response. Same thing. Couldn't get a hold of him. I called multiple times throughout the day. Text messaged him 3 times. No response. So then I decide I ask around, and they suggest contact the next person on the chain. So I sent her an email telling her, explain the situation, and also saying, this has not been my experience with y'all. This has not been my experience with y'all. I need an answer. I'm paraphrasing. Moving on. So I couldn't get a hold of her. I didn't get any reply from her. So I went above her. And then that's when all of a sudden, during the conversation, now all of a sudden I get an email that with a revised rate confirmation. This is about 4 in the afternoon yesterday, and it's for $1,250. Now, I'm okay with the $1,250, although I should have been paid $1,400 because there was also 3 hours. There was also 3 hours detention, or 3 hours waiting for my being loaded to leave Somerville. I sent a reply email to her. She tells me basically take it or leave it. Do you want detention or do you want layover? So I told her, easy answer. I'll take the layover. Thanks for the clarification. She also said that she also moved the goalposts to keep from paying me the additional money that she did not want to pay. That's what it's all about. They did not want to pay me that extra $1,250. So that's how I earned $1,250 on the load. Not now, just for historical context, my other large paying opportunities that have come with these brokers also involved layover money and detention money or detention money. In fact, last week, Wednesday and Thursday, August 30th and August 31st, 2023, I had booked 2 opportunities. One from Winston-Salem, North Carolina to Chester, Virginia, Chester is about 15 minutes south of Richmond, Virginia. That one was for $250. My plan was, since while I was going to be in Virginia, I also booked an opportunity from Dulles Airport to Fort Eustis, which is Newport News, Virginia. That opportunity was going to pay $350. While at the airport to pick up this load, we had a situation, and so with continuous contact with the broker, who also was in contact with the customer, we were in on a multiple-way conversation, in that there was the broker, the customer, and then the people at the airport and myself. The people at the airport told us that, well, there's nothing that we can do for you tonight. The issue is that my van not being dock height, they were not willing to accommodate me in an alternate way to load my van. So they told me that, they didn't have the people to do it. So they told me to come back in the morning. So that meant the broker had already told me that, okay, we're going to pay you $250 to lay over for that night, and hopefully we can get this resolved. Ultimately, the morning shift, they handled this thing in 20 minutes. So there is a way that Sprinter vans can be actually loaded from the dock height. It's just if they're willing to do it. So instead of getting $350 on that load, as you see here, it was $700. And ultimately, and by the way, I made $988 that day, so I almost got on the one last week. I was just shy of it. So that's just another example of the layover and detention opportunity. I was there for over 2 hours, and the guy said, yes, you should be paid detention money, and I thought it would be 150. I thought it would be as much as 150, but 2 hours, I was okay with the $100. So, by the way, if you like the content that's been provided in this segment of the Get Geezer and any other segment of the Get Geezer, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. The last thing I want to touch upon in this segment of the Get Geezer is my month of August. Now, I actually hinted in this segment of the Get Geezer my earnings for last month, but those are not the final numbers. And if you checked out other segments of the Get Geezer here throughout August, you see that I was, I had pretty good production in terms of earnings. Well, I ended the month earning $12,635. All right, so I made $12,635 and change last month. And for those of you who often ask me questions about expenses and if this is net or if this is before expenses, $12,635 is what I earned, okay? But when you take into account expenses, my expenses last month was $5,035 and change. My net, now you hear the word saying net or after expenses, is $7,599.98, or you can round it up to $7,600. A breakdown of my expenses. I've mentioned in previous segments of the Get Geezer that my two biggest ticket items are gas and commercial insurance. Gas last month for me was $2,124.95. My insurance, of course, is $1,521.96. My next expense was rent, $315. I had some office expenses last month, $200.12. Marketing, $226.19. Maintenance, which was 2 oil changes, $65.56. Interest paid on vehicles, my F-150 and van. I cannot claim the actual monthly payments, but I can claim the interest paid, $416. Hotel for that one night layover up in Virginia, $107.35. And miscellaneous, $60.49 for $5,035. How does that translate into earnings per mile and cost per mile, which is another metric that some people seem to like to ask me about? My earnings per mile, if you divide 8,865 miles, 8,865 into 1265.35, that gets you $1.42 a mile earned. My expenses, when you divide 8865 into 5035, was 56 cents a mile. That means my net profit was 86 cents a mile. And I have communicated in past segments of the Get Geezer, I would love to be around $1 net earned per mile. So I am approaching those type of numbers, or you could say I'm hitting those type of numbers. So that's all I have to share for this segment of the Get Geezer. If you like the content that's been provided in this segment of the Get Geezer and any other segment of the Get Geezer, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. I'm Inwood Lane, and as always, may your grind and may your hustle continue.